Hey everybody. All right, this isn't, I'm technologically challenged and I didn't want to do my, I didn't want to download the Facebook app so I could do a live because their permissions are remind me of a ill-behaved dog who puts his nose where it doesn't belong. So that said, I'm just going to make this little video. I made it on my other phone and it was great, except that the color was, it just didn't show the color properly. So this is on my little iPhone mini, and I'll just run through my kiln opening really quick. So it's like the kiln opening, except not the fun of taking the shelves out and having me go, oh no, that was awful. Anyway, we'll start with my favorite piece. This was from Jess's class a couple, was it 2 weeks ago, Wednesday at prime time, our little espresso set. And I used a doily for my texture. And this is Storm Celadon by Amico with seaweed on the rim. Isn't it cute? Love it, love it. Here's that little guy. This was a project for, let me get my junk out of the way. This was a project, I did a pottery day for the little American Heritage girls to earn their badge. They're kind of like the Girl Scouts, but it was a church-based one. And it was kind of like a service thing too. So I thought, oh, this will be great. We'll all kind of have a hand in making like a chalice and paten for, you know, communion elements. But since the age range was like 4 to 14, 15 years old, it was like herding cats. So it was a miracle that we got trinket dishes and air plant little pods, those little teardrop votive holders. We got those made. And so with the extra clay from that day, I just went ahead and made the cup myself and put the American Heritage girls on there. So this is just a simple cup, and it's got the scriptures for communion on the rim. It's really subtle, but this is seaweed, and I just thought I'd keep it simple, one color, and they turned out beautiful. And then here's the little plates that they can pass around with the bread on it. This is seaweed also, and this is on white. So this is what seaweed looks like on white, and that was obviously a doily on that one, and my textured rolling pin on that one. And I was happy with how those turned out. I got the verses around the rim. So I only did two coats on the rim and 3 in the center. So those were really pretty. Happy with those. This was a glaze test on a little scrap I had. I think this was on Continental clay. I use Continental clay mid-fire white, which is cone 5/6, and I use Continental clay buff stoneware. Typically that's kind of more Bruce's stuff because he wheel throws and I don't, but I had to make some bowls, so some of the stuff in here is on buff stoneware. I'll try to mention that if I remember where, but this was just a chunk of mid-fire white. This is obsidian with smoky merlot. I love it, love it. Very pretty. Put a candle on it or something. And this is on stoneware. I was very happy with this. This was just a real fun sgraffito piece I was anxious to try. This is Amico Red Velvet Underglaze, and then it's on stoneware, and I covered it with Amico Ochre. So this is what ochre, I think I put 3 coats of ochre on stoneware. It's obviously a lot more muted, almost a mustard, you know, German mustard color, but on white stoneware it's like a buttery creamy color. But I wanted it to pool in there on the sgraffito I did, and it did exactly what I wanted. So this is one of those yay, it did what I wanted pieces. And this is kind of funny. This is I've had a plaster mold with this imprint on it. And I thought, excuse me, I thought, oh, that'll make a great platter. And then when it came out of the kiln, it was like, wow, that's really kind of ugly. But, so I used an opportunity for a glaze test. So this is, I'll show a better version. I'll show. This is the glaze. This is a better representation of the glaze on here. This is Continental clay sandstone, and it's a dipping glaze, and it's this beautiful color with little tiny speckles in it, sandy little speckles. And it it combines so far with other continental clay dipping glazes. It makes beautiful combinations, but I want to experiment. We have so much of it. I want to experiment with kind of stretch out my brush on glazes as much as possible. So use dipping for the body and then embellishment with brush-ons. So this is Smoky Merlot. The outer ring is Smoky Merlot over sandstone, 2-3 coats. This next ring is Sapphire Float by Amico. And the inside, which overlapped with the Sapphire Float, is Blue Lagoon. So that's what it looks like. And it reminds me of a shirt that I have that I got from Amazon that Jessica has the same shirt, but in a different color. I'll wear it and hold this up next to it sometime. But I think this is going to be a bird bath for my birds. This was a fun experiment. This is stoneware, and it's Continental Clay's Tropical Blue underglaze, and then I put the tissue transfer on it and then made the cups. And I should have put the transfers on after the cup was formed, because then I've got this little, you know, that's where the seam is, and it got a little muddy and whatever. But, you know, it makes it look vintage. So this is clear over it, but then on the rim and the inside is Blue Lagoon. And I really love that color. It's a very beautiful color. And then on the little roses, I tried to mimic the pattern there. The cups just looked like they needed something. I put Storm and Mako Northern Woods, dark green, just one coat on there. I didn't want them to be like super standout. So I have yet to make the picture to go with this, so I'll have to use the same method on the picture so it kind of matches. Anyway. And then this is GR Pottery Form little plaque. And I experimented with 4 new colors this time. I had 4 new colors to work with. So this is Aqua Celadon Amico with Amico Sapphire Float. I keep wanting to say Indigo Float because it's, yeah, but it's not. It's Sapphire Float is what I bought. And this was 3 coats, looks like this. So it's the aqua isn't quite as, thought it was going to be a little more vibrant, a little more blue, almost like Jess's Chun, but still very pretty. The only thing I wish I would have done different, it shows the texture really nice. I wish I would have put flux on there. I could, but you know, it's nice. Why wreck it? I had a very difficult decision for, you know, this is a good problem to have. I had a hard decision on what bowl I was going to send my person. So I have sequestered one from the batch. So I was really at a toss, but then anyway, you'll see. Anyway, so this is using Deb De La Cruz's templates. I made this pretty little bowl, and I actually made a ring, footed ring on the bottom that I did with a tool, not, you know, hand building. But anyway, this is Blue Lagoon with Sapphire Float over it. And I thought I did 3 coats of Blue Lagoon, but I didn't. I only did 2, and you can see it's, you know, it kind of shows through there. So 3 coats, people. But anyway, here's, I think you can see that. I thought it was just beautiful. I looked up the combination online and I loved it, and it's very pretty. This is without flux. I didn't put flux on anything just because I wanted to see what it did. So this bowl was very pretty, as was this one. Same thing, I used one of Debbie's forms, but I chopped off a few inches on the end of it and made a smaller foot. So this is Storm, Amico Storm with Smoky Merlot on it. And here is, okay, so this is my first decent GR Pottery Form bowl that I made that didn't have a bunch of lines in the middle. But lo and behold, mental note, folks, write this down. When you're putting, okay, so you put your clay on here, and you kind of, you know, got it down, and then you take your rib to smooth it down. Start in the middle, not on the other side, because when I flipped it out, I was able to hide it a little bit. The doily got off center in the middle of the bowl, and I was so mad because it looked so nice. So I kind of tried to hide it with obsidian. But this is obsidian and seaweed on here. I think you can see that. This is a gorgeous combination, and I love it. Except that obviously I missed a little tiny spot with the wax resist. Got a glob on there like a ding dong. But anyway, I love this combination. It is beautiful, and there will be more doily bowls on this form coming. And my sister is here, I see, so I'm gonna hurry up and wrap this up. This is third firing of this bowl. First one was when I put the Mako Alabaster in there, and it just saw the brush strokes and it wasn't very nice. So I refired it with birch over it, and it just looked exactly the same. So this time I put, I just slathered a bunch of Sapphire Float, 2 coats on there, and it did this. I didn't do anything different with the outside because I just think it's fine. But that's what that turned out like. So, you know, one of those 3 firing, 4 firing messed up bowls. That's what that looks like. Here is a little bowl, same thing, Deb De La Cruz form with Sambo transfer. And this is on buff stoneware, continental clay buff stoneware with Sambo tissue transfer with clear, Mako clear over it. And then the inside is Weeping Plum. So that turned out, that was fun. Just made a little yarn bowl. I'm getting better at, you know, this deal, getting that to match up. A little trick to that. And here's my little pumpkins. Here is buff stoneware, and here is mid-fire white. Here's a good example of what the tissue transfer difference looks like on there. And then there's a couple more. These are Emiko Velvet Underglazes. This is Lilac. I can't remember. I think this might be Blue Nautical. And then Deep Fire Brick. You know, super tiny, super tiny. Here's my little Harlequin ones and Obsidian. More tissue transfers. So I've got a lot. I'll post a picture of all my little tiny pumpkins. Here's my Minnesota magnets. This is Deep Fire Brick over Black Velvet Underglaze. This is Smoky Merlot. I'm gonna make magnets out of all of those. Here is Seaweed over Storm. And this is Weeping Plum over tissue transfer. I should have done a couple coats of that. That was just one. I just kind of put that on there. And this was a refire of this bowl. I put dark black, what a name, dark black on the rim of this and fired it again because it didn't quite, it was brown. I didn't put enough on there, so it matches the tissue transfer a little better. So the last thing I'm going to show you really quickly are the bowls I made with Debbie's forms. These were for a customer that they saw my husband's hand bone throw. I made a post about this. My husband's hand thrown bowl. So I tried to mimic it because he just doesn't have the energy to come out here after work anymore. And I thought, well, this is an opportunity learning experience for me. The only thing was the glaze was a little thick, so it kind of covered up the texture. But other than that, I'm calling it a win. This is sandstone on buff stoneware. And the last thing, let me see, there was one more thing I saw sitting here that I was going to show you. Maybe not. Maybe I got everything. Oh, from Jess's class. Here we go. Here's the little house and the little barn. Back door, windows for the horses, Dutch doors so they can go outside. There we go. That was fun. That was a fun little class to do. Anyway, so that's it. And if you have any questions, let me know. That's it.